Tzu Chi volunteers' efforts in helping residents affected by the worst flooding in 30 years in Malaysia continues. In our next report, we join Tzu Chi volunteers as they deliver much-needed aid to flood victims in Terengganu and Pahang.
Waters reached waist height in some areas. Some homes are still inundated. This is the current situation in Ma淡馬魯Pahang following the heavy seasonal rainfall since mid-December of last year. With heavy rainfall causing the worst flooding in decades in Malaysia, most of Terengganu is submerged underwater. Seeing the devastation brought by the disaster, one group of people is extremely worried. Despite having to take multiple types of transportation to get to their destination, the determination of the Tzu Chi volunteers never falter. The volunteers say the purpose of their trip is to remind flood survivors that they are not forgotten by the society. Besides delivering much-needed aid to flood victims, Tzu Chi volunteers also make it a point to visit their fellow counterparts who are also affected by the disaster.
I am going to cry. I have been putting on a brave front since the disaster, but seeing Tzu Chi brothers and sisters really moved me. I think it is because they reminded me of Master Cheng Yen.
At a temporary shelter in Ma淡馬魯Pahang, those of the Islamic faith gathered together to pray for peace and harmony. As many parts of the city are still inundated, residents can only stay at temporary shelters. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive with love and care. This time, 60 households affected by the flooding received Tzu Chi's assistance. Now, with consolation cash in hand, many residents have regained their smiles.
I was extremely happy and moved when I received Tzu Chi's consolation cash. This money will definitely help lift some of the burden off my shoulder. I will be able to replace some of the items damaged by the disaster.
To make sure flood survivors in Terengganu are well taken care of, as soon as the relief items are loaded into the car, the volunteers begin their rescue mission. With many areas of Terengganu still inundated by floodwaters, Tzu Chi volunteers make sure to deliver relief items to each temporary shelter as quickly as possible. Tzu Chi's timely assistance has reminded flood survivors that they are not forgotten and that love is everywhere.